Hi, and welcome to Afternoon Delight. I'm Ashley Conkle.
I'm Colin Talbert.
I'm Matt Gutzman.
And I'm Ashley Reynolds. We want to start today's Afternoon Delight by talking about a hot topic that's happening right now, Bruce Jenner's transition. So, allegedly, Bruce Jenner is going through a transition from a man to a woman, and it's been kind of a hot topic lately. There were a lot of rumors, but it's pretty much been confirmed. Apparently, his family is very supportive, at least his children are. But he just recently came out saying that he wants to make his debut as a woman next fall on the next season of Dancing with the Stars. Seems a little bit dramatic to me, but I guess he just wants to come out to the world as who he's always wanted to be in kind of a firework way. What do you guys think about that?
I think if he's a famous person and, you know, he's an important guy, I think Dancing with the Stars is a classy way to do it, to come out on that. But that's me. I think that's an interesting way of doing it.
I mean, I think it's an interesting way of doing it, too. I always lost track of that whole, because he was part of, like, the whole, like, Kardashian clan, wasn't he? I just remember him kind of as, I think he was, like, an Olympic sprinter or something like that,
Decathlon winner.
I know, I always lost track of that whole keeping up with the Kardashian stuff, but, I mean, I never had a problem with Bruce, so I think it's up to him.
He's not going to be getting away from the Kardashians anytime soon. It seems that the only person that's not supportive of him right now is his ex-wife, Kris. Not because of the transition, but because she doesn't want him to be more successful than she was on Dancing with the Stars.
I think it's really kind of interesting. I mean, this is probably one of the bigger famous people that is trying to go through one of these transitions to become a transgender. And obviously he was a gold medal winner as a decathlon. But he says he's finally starting to feel more of himself, because I think he's been saying that he's gone most of his life saying that he's a woman trapped in a guy's body, and it's finally just coming out. So, I mean, good for him for, you know, working up the courage finally to go through this steps.
I think this kind of thing is more popular in the news right now, especially since the show Orange is the New Black, that really, like, prompted people to feel comfortable, like, transitioning and that sort of thing. I think when they put, like, one of the stars in Orange is the New Black was on, like, the Time magazine for being, they had, like, people that had transitioned, and they put, like, famous people. So I think that this has, like, really brought it out and made it an okay thing to do, you know?
Yeah, well, it's not ever been kind of an okay thing for him to do up until this point in his life. I mean, it's kind of sad that he had to wait till this late in his life, but at least he gets to live the rest of his life the way he wants to.
Well, definitely. I remember I might have strolled through the channels a couple times while keeping up with the Kardashians, but I do remember that he would just get all the daughters, and then definitely, I don't know what's his wife's name again,
Kris.
were just hard on him and kind of mean to him. So I mean, I'm cool with it. So
Yep.
Well, speaking of other famous people, Oprah Winfrey is having the yard sale of all yard sales. She is selling plates, chairs, and tables, but something you might not expect Oprah to be selling is a bunch of nude paintings and things like that. They're going for a lot of money, which is very interesting. I'm not sure who necessarily the nudes are of, but she's got plenty of them to go around, and it's on an online auction. So what do you guys think of that?
It's a yard sale on an online auction?
It's what it's called. It's an online auction, but they called it a yard sale.
I suppose it would be chaos if she had a real yard
Yeah.
sale.
I think
was just going to ask where it was. I was going to go just to see Oprah.
I think her
Not
yard,
for nudes.
her yard is a little too big for all the
People
items.
would get lost.
Yeah, they would get lost.
They would get lost.
And knowing Oprah and how much money she has, I'm assuming these are pretty fancy paintings.
Exactly.
But, and, you know, when you say Oprah's nudes, it's totally different thing was running through my head. But
you're going two different directions, aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's Oprah. She's like the face, basically, of I don't know, talk shows and women and all that stuff for how long that she's done it for. So I mean, obviously, like you said, all the money she's made. It's probably going to be some good stuff there, probably.
I think this is such a strange thing for Oprah to do, because she does have so much money. Like, why isn't she just giving this away? Why does she have to have a yard sale or something like that? Why couldn't she just donate her... Everyone gets a brand new car! Doesn't she have any cars to donate anymore?
Well, maybe she's raising money for charity. Let's just hope that's...
Let's hope that's where she's going.
Let's hope.
And staying with the stars, Vin Diesel announced the birth of his new daughter, and in honor of his fallen buddy, Paul Walker, who passed away a couple years ago, he ended up naming his daughter in honor of her. So his daughter's name is Pauline Walker, or Pauline Diesel, excuse me. You know, it's kind of interesting to see how close this cast of Fast and Furious was over the series, because I know Vin Diesel is not the only guy that on the set that has talked about how much it's traumatized them and affected them. But you know, it's good way to honor Paul Walker with naming the daughter after him. What do you think?
And I definitely think they talked about how long did they postpone like the shooting the movie, and I think it was just not even the cast, it was also the crew and everything behind it. And yeah, I remember Vin Diesel saying how close he was, and it's kind of almost crazy to think that happened like over a year ago.
Yeah.
Almost. I think it said it was like at 15 or 16 months ago.
Yep.
It was so. And the movie's just coming out right now, but yeah, that's definitely a pretty cool gesture. I think I've always liked Vin Diesel. I always liked Paul Walker too, but yeah.
I think that's an adorable thing for like to see celebrities meaning that much to each other. You know, you see so much backstabbing and things like that in news and stuff, but.
Yeah, he actually, Vin Diesel actually said something about how Paul Walker was his friendship soulmate.
Yep.
So that just goes to show how close those two were. But keeping with baby names, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds recently had a little girl, and they were holding off on telling everybody what her name was, and they just released a statement saying that her name is James. Non-traditional name, like a lot of celebrity babies. However, traditional, just in a completely different sense. So
I guess it's better than, you know, Northwest or Blue Ivy like Jay-Z and Kanye's kids, but I mean, that kid's going to grow up to be an absolutely beautiful person.
Right.
I mean,
oh yeah,
Blake Lively.
Both of them.
Ryan Reynolds,
They're an adorable couple.
adorable.
All right, well, I'll keep with like the little kids here. Authorities in Colorado said a 12-year-old girl was taken into custody on allegations she tried to poison her mother twice as revenge for taking away her iPhone. I guess all I have to say for this story is what has society come to now these days? I mean, I have a lot of brothers and sisters, and they know how to work technology all better than me, but trying to poison your mother 2 times because taking away your iPhone just seems like a little
Extreme.
to me. I don't know.
There's got to be some underlying issues there. I mean, if there isn't, then that's even more disturbing. I don't even know.
She said she smelled the bleach in her coffee, saying that I guess she tried the bleacher in her coffee, so just for taking away her iPhone twice.
wow, that's terrible. I sometimes wish my parents would take away my iPhone, you know, that get distracted in class sometimes. It'd be nice not to have this fancy smart technology that
Well,
we have.
it's incredible, too, how it's getting younger and younger where people are getting cell phones now, too. At 12 years old, I think, for an iPhone especially, too,
Yeah.
12 years old.
There's people that say, you know, this generation. This story just makes that statement just embarrassing for our generation and everything.
Yeah. Well, I got another one for you guys here. How about this? Talking about bad luck. A California lottery winner supposedly won a $1 million prize in the lottery, but he could not claim it because he lost the ticket. There was surveillance footage saying that he did catch him buying the ticket, but they still could not give him the money to buy it. So I guess how bad of luck is
Could
that?
they identify the ticket from the surveillance, or how could they be like, you definitely bought the ticket?
It says lottery officials believe he is the man showing. I guess they believe he is the man showing this. So I guess he claimed to do it, but still, I mean, what are the odds of like winning over $1 million, and then once you do win it, then you lose the ticket and can't cash it in?
I would cry probably for at least a couple days knowing that if I was actually the winner, to have that much money just slip through my hands because I lost a piece of paper.
But yeah, it says, but under Powerball rules, they cannot pay out on the prize unless the ticket is actually presented. So yeah.
Well, that's just bad luck.
Yeah.
Well, what is the point of buying a lottery ticket if you're not going to keep track of it?
That is true.
I don't understand. I mean, bad luck, but
You feel bad for him, but then at the same
Not
time,
really.
it's like, come on, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
what's going on here?
Well, we're going to take a quick break and look at some perfect pets.
Meet Fluffle, a 7-year-old loving and adorable cat, both inside and out. Her unique color and well-behaved personality make her the perfect pet to any family. Patty is a young coonhound who is a very beautiful and outgoing, affectionate young lady who would love to lean on you for some petting. This is Eli. If his handsome and unique markings don't convince you, then his personality sure will. Kaiser is a 3-year-old pit bull. Oh, just look at him smile. He is a strong boy who is in need of some training and exercise. To find out more about adoption for these pets or others, contact the Cooley Region Humane Society at 781-4014.
Again, the phone number for the Cooley Region Humane Society is 781-4014. We're going to take a look at an animal that is popular on the news lately. His name is Fritz the dog, and he's an animal that has had some trouble catching food. Most animals can handle catching a piece of treat or something like that, but this dog he just can't handle it.
I just can't get over it.
Up, and...
And I love how
Wow,
I love how they put this video in slow motion. It just makes it perfect.
It almost kind of reminds me when if you have like candy or popcorn, you always try to throw in people. That kind of reminds me of right there from like a long distance.
You know,
And it's like all shapes and sizes. This dog can just not catch
he's not even
anything.
Kind of
close.
embarrassing
Looks like,
for
yeah.
that dog. I mean, my dog would be all over that.
It's like his depth perception's off a little
Yeah,
bit,
something's-
kind of.
something's
They threw a taco.
Taco. Yeah, you weren't lying. He could not catch anything. Apparently, one of them's a taco too. But that is, that's.
I've seen this all over the internet, but I've actually never sat down and watched the video.
Aren't you glad
And I'm
you...
really glad I am.
And even a strawberry there. Was that a strawberry? I couldn't even tell. I think it was a.
Because usually sometimes dogs are actually like really good
Nope,
at catching
nothing.
food. I mean,
I would think my dog is pretty terrible, and he can at least catch like a treat or something when he's motivated,
Yeah.
you know?
yeah, it was just awesome. It was funny to watch. I don't. That's kind of mean to the dog to put that stuff. I
It's
mean,
one of those things where
going
you feel
viral.
bad, but you still gotta laugh.
You have to
it's
laugh
like, yeah.
at it. Absolutely.
Well, sticking with the animal trend, this is kind of weird. Florida man is facing animal cruelty charges after allegedly attempting to sell live iguanas that he had hog-tied with duct tape and was hanging them from his bike handles as he's trying to sell them outside of a restaurant. He was telling cops that he was going to take them home for food, which I guess it is legal to do in the state of Florida, is to capture iguanas and take them for food, but also illegal to try to sell them.
So
But-
it's legal to eat them, but not legal to sell
Yeah,
them?
and he's being held for animal cruelty charges because of the way he had hog-tied them and was hanging them from his bike handles.
Oh.
He's being held on $5,000 bond, but
Wow.
I wonder how iguanas taste.
I don't
If
think
he
they
was
would taste
going
very
to
good.
eat it.
So they really are like legal to eat. You think down there?
Yeah, it says.
I mean, I know there's a lot. I mean, they're all over the place. I've been down in Florida, and those things are running around like deer. Basically,
Yeah, it says
around there.
iguanas are non-native invasive species in Florida, and killing them for food is legal.
So it's probably just the hog tie into his bike.
Yeah,
kind of
you
thing.
should-
Definitely. That's kind of
Don't
frowned
hang
upon,
them
yeah.
from your bike handle. I mean, but
I mean, what other way would you capture an iguana? I mean, you could cage it. You
Yeah.
could. I'm just trying to think. I wonder.
You could do one of those box traps where you have a stick and just pull the string and no.
I
maybe,
mean,
I mean,
a lot more humane
How do
than.
they expect them to eat them?
I have no idea, but it's just kind of interesting how you would ride around a town with 4 iguanas hanging from your bike handles.
Oh, yeah.
It
Well,
takes
you
a
actually-
special kind of person to think about that.
Well, actually, this goes into, you said 4 iguanas. I have a story about 4, too. A cow in northeast Texas has apparently defied great odds and given birth to 4 calves in the same thing. So, and the calves' names are Eenie, Minnie, Miney, and Moo, basically. So it's 3 bull calves and 1 heifer calf. And I guess the local veterinarian, his name was Mike Baird, said basically the odds of 4 live births from 1 cow are about 1 in 11.2 million. So it's kind of a cool thing. I said it said something about the mother is not able to nurse all 4 of them at once, so they've been asking the neighbors to come over and help. Moo has stayed with her mother, while Eenie, Minnie, and Miney are with 2 different caretakers, basically. So, and they're all weigh about 25 pounds-ish. So yeah, thought that was an interesting story, kind of a cool story. But
I just like the names. I think that's really creative.
Minnie,
Eenie, Miney,
They're
Moo.
gonna have 4.
well, yeah. That's
Where
just
is
kinda-
this at?
This is in Texas, so kind of the
Huh.
the heart of the.
I had not heard that.
outdoor thing,
Isn't that Wisconsin is the heart of the cow?
Maybe I'm wrong here. Well, I can stick with another story with animals. How about a bee attack during a baseball game in St. George forced players and spectators to flee and sent one man to a hospital. And apparently this guy's named Robert Hooper was stung between 200 and 300 times during this baseball game. That'd be like my worst fear coming true, being stung. I hate being stung by bees, but
I guess I don't remember the last time I was really stung by a bee, but being that, hopefully he's not allergic, because that would probably be really bad.
And apparently the bees were chasing the players around the dugout, and there was as many as 70 bees at one point, pretty
Like,
much.
he didn't die?
He didn't die. No, he did not die. He didn't have any signs of severe reaction, but he was just basically taken there because it was over 200 to 300 times.
I would think you would need
was
some
really
hospital
small.
time
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah, I don't believe it. But yeah, well, we're going to take one more quick break. When we come back, we'll talk some more outrageous stories, but hang in there with us.
Hey, can't find what you're looking for?
What?
You can find what you're looking for and more at WMCM. WMCM TV has plenty of shows you can view at your pleasure. There's Profile, where we interview people throughout the community. Or if you like sports, we have Sports Talk Live and Sports Scene. And if you're into celebrity gossip, that's why we have Afternoon Delight.
Well, that all looks great, but I'm on a computer, not a TV. I bet you guys don't have a way for me to watch this stuff on a computer.
Oh, we have that covered too. Just go to WMCMTV.com for all the updates.
Wow, that solves all my problems. Thanks, WMCM Genie.
And welcome back to Afternoon Delight. Why don't we go with this story? Footages of relatives risking their lives and limbs to help children pass state exams in India has gone viral. I think we got a video of it, so let's kind of just look at it. So basically, family and friends of children sitting exams in India have been captured on camera risking their lives. That might be it. Basically trying to help their kids cheat. So you can see here, it's just kind of outrageous. Basically, one of the first shots was there's over 300-400 sets of parents climbing this building on the side, just trying to slip stuff to their student or to their kids while they're taking the exams. And I read that there was more than 600 students that were caught, I guess, were expelled because of this. So I don't know, what do you guys think of that? I mean, that's just kind of outrageous, I think. I mean, this must be kind of pretty important, I guess, if the parents are climbing the buildings to give cheat, help their kids
I have
cheat.
a couple things about this. First of all, I wish my parents would have helped me. I wish my parents would have done stuff like this, so school would have been a little easier. Second of all, how hard is this exam that they're giving these kids?
Yeah,
where
what
parents
exam is it?
have to, yeah.
It just said it said it was the state exams in India, basically. So yeah, I mean,
I think it might be like a life or death situation.
Yeah.
Like if you don't pass, and you're just done.
and basically, I guess the superintendent, I'm gonna try to say his name, Vishwanath Kumar. They did pretty decent on that.
Yeah.
He blamed the authorities. He said basically that the police officials were taking bribes from the parents so that they could actually sneak into the building and pass their kids' notes on pass it. So it must have been a pretty important exam, I guess.
And that's
Yeah.
the surprising thing. Like, it didn't even look like that's what was happening. Like, these parents climbing the building. It just looked like an attack was going on. Like, all these parents, like, climbing a building. You have to be pretty desperate to, like, you couldn't even go into the school. I wonder if they had special security that day or what was happening that they couldn't take the normal entrance.
Yeah.
How do you even do that, like, inconspicuously? Like, I'm going to climb up the building.
Exactly.
You just wait for me. I will be there with a note. Like, how do they think they're going to get away with it? That just, whatever. But speaking of unusual behaviors, there have been quite a few fraternity suspensions, and quite a few fraternities around the nation at big schools have been removed because of hazing issues and just fostering a negative environment. Specifically, Chi Phi at UW-Madison just got It just got removed from the campus, and it's not even recognized by their interfraternity council. They can't even appeal it for 4 years. I guess there was some dangerous hazing going on. There was forced alcohol, making their pledges drink without eating anything. I don't know. There's a lot of crazy things that are going on. What do you guys think about it?
Well, I'm in a sorority, so this, like, all these stories coming out kind of, like, make me feel bad. Not that I'm in it, but just that there's so many negative connotations going on right now about it. And I think there's a lot of good things that sororities and fraternities can do, like philanthropy stuff and different service activities that they do. But since the SAE Sigma Alpha Epsilon story came out, with a video about like, what was it about?
Racist comment.
Yeah, there was like a racist video that they made, and ever since that came out, now there's all these fraternities that are coming out doing different things that they've done.
I think they're just watching closer now.
Yeah.
I mean, because of all of the dangerous things and all, you know, there have been links, like deaths linked to different hazing activities. And I mean, I don't think that happens on in the smaller school community. Like here at UWL, I don't see that that's a problem, but it's definitely an issue. Even an issue, like such a big issue that celebrities are starting to speak out. In particular, Will Ferrell, who was actually a member of Delta Tau Delta at USC when he was an undergrad, was saying that incidents that are happening across the nation raise a real argument for getting rid of the system altogether, because when you break it down, it really is about creating cliques and clubs and being exclusionary. So the fact that Will Ferrell, you know, notorious funny guy, spoke out about such a serious topic makes it feel serious to me. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, these are guys, the ones that are getting in trouble, I think, are just bad apples amongst the group. Like, they do a lot of good for the community and whatnot. It's just that these certain ones are just, you know, taking things way too far, and it's just, you know, stuff needs to be done for these ones specifically.
I don't think it's necessarily that they're watching more closely. I think it's that these things are happening. Like, they do happen at different places, but I just think since the media covered it once, now it's like a continual pattern that the media is going to cover it. But we're going to take another quick look at the adorable Perfect Pets and be right back.
Meet Fluffle, a 7-year-old loving and adorable cat, both inside and out. Her unique color and well-behaved personality make her the perfect pet to any family. Patty is a young coonhound who is a very beautiful and outgoing, affectionate young lady who would love to lean on you for some petting. This is Eli. If his handsome and unique markings don't convince you, then his personality sure will. Kaiser is a 3-year-old pit bull. Aww, just look at him smile. He is a strong boy who is in need of some training and exercise. To find out more about adoption for these pets or others, contact the Cooley Region Humane Society at 781-4014.
Welcome back again. The number for the Cooley Region Humane Society is 781-4014. I had a story earlier about India, so I'm going to kind of stick with that kind of same topic. I guess a bride in India walked away from her wedding minutes before she was due to marry because the groom could not add up. Basically, the bride was suspicious of groom, his apparent qualifications, and her cousin tested him out with a question. Basically, the cousin of the bride asked the groom what 15 plus 6 was, and he replied 17. And obviously the answer is 21. So the bride was very concerned, and minutes before she was supposed to get married to him, left and darted out of it. So I don't know. What do you guys think of that?
Did she, like, I mean, obviously you would consider a person like that stupid, I guess.
Right.
Did she not know he was stupid
That's-
before?
That was my question. Like, how well does she know this guy that she's marrying? If is this the first time she's asked the question? Was he studying the night before and was supposed to pass some kind of an exam? That's just kind of a strange situation.
The family of the groom, basically there was a quote saying the family of the groom had kept everyone in the dark, I guess, about their youth qualifications, basically. So I don't know if he was just kind of putting on a show or what, but you would think not being able to add 15 plus 6 is kind of...
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, leaving them at the altar, though, That's still pretty. I mean,
Yeah.
you could,
Was
you
it like
could
an
try.
arranged marriage, or did they like?
It didn't say anything about if it was arranged marriage. I think a lot
isn't
of
that a thing?
yeah, a lot of them. I think that's a lot of them in India are arranged marriages. I don't. It didn't really say how old
'Cause
they
maybe
were.
the bride
Maybe.
could just blame it on her parents.
But yeah, I mean, I guess if it was an arranged marriage, that could definitely
Yeah.
be something. But, you know, I thought that was interesting. Yeah.
Well, sticking with weird stories of that sort, I am going to move to eating because I like to eat. A guy recently, Matt Megatoad Stoney, one of Major League Eating's top 2 eaters in the world, just set a new record for eating 182 slices of bacon in 5 minutes. I don't know about you guys, but bacon is amazing.
You like bacon,
I don't
yeah.
know if I could eat that much. of it.
182.
It comes out to be more than 28,000 milligrams of sodium.
Oh my God.
It's incredible what like all these professional eaters, some of the stuff that they eat and how fast they eat them. And like the hot dog eating contest is the one that gives me with bacon. That's a lot of like
I feel like that's heartburn.
fat and
coming
stuff
out.
too getting into. I mean that's yeah, heartburn
mean,
definitely.
I can't even wrap my head around that new Little Caesars pizza that has the crust wrapped in bacon.
I want to try that.
I mean, I eat really pretty healthy, so maybe that's just my, bias on it, but I just, I can't even fathom trying to do this.
This is also the guy who on Valentine's Day set the record in Florida for eating a 14.5-pound birthday cake.
What?
So,
I wish we had a picture
I
of
really
that.
wish we could have seen this man because I'm just picturing like
14.5-pound birthday cake. What did it say? What flavor it was?
it does not say what flavor it was.
That would be big. That would
Does
just
it
be. That doesn't matter, but I don't know. Yeah,
I
that's
can't
crazy.
believe this guy. I wonder, going to the bacon thing, this is just blowing my mind. How many pigs do you think that would be?
Oh, I wish
A
it
lot
said,
of pigs,
but
probably.
Well, I don't know
Yeah.
how many pieces of bacon come from a pig.
I don't know, but that's
That's-
just a question on my mind.
And I always didn't. I just don't understand. Like all these professional eaters, how do they feel the next day? Like after all, like you have
it's
a quote about
the quote
this. but I
in
just
this
don't
article.
get it.
He said, "I don't feel that bad. I'm used to 10 or 12-minute contests where I'm eating 10 to 15 pounds of food. I came into this prepared."
I mean, even if I just eat like a pound burger, I'm just like at that point where I
yeah.
can't breathe. I got to unbutton, the jeans for a little bit just so I could breathe a little bit. But
I want
that
to see
much
this guy
bacon?
on Thanksgiving. I want to see how he rallies on Thanksgiving.
Or how he eats like in everyday like normal life. Like what does he eat? What do these guys
I
eat?
don't even want to know what his grocery grill is.
I wonder how you prepare for that sort of thing. Like, do you not eat like the couple days before, or do you like eat a lot so your stomach is very big?
I
Well,
know.
actually-
I didn't say that he's like Kobayashi, who is the old,
He was
like the
yeah.
big hot dog eater back in the day. Said they eat a lot of bananas and drink a lot of water. I think and
And
expands
a lot of lettuce.
like a lot of lettuce
Not
and
with dressing
expands
it,
their
yeah.
stomach.
Huh.
But
And they do like a regimen. They try doing the competition, like a mock competition at their house. There's actually a TV show, and I was watching.
so they actually train for it.
They-
basically,
they-
what
they
you're saying,
actually train for it, yes,
And
on
I know you see
Thursday.
a lot of them. They like jump up and down when they're like eating
Yeah.
it. I don't know if that helps. I
Helps
don't know.
push it down.
I guess so. I don't know. But yeah, that's crazy. You guys got any more?
Well,
Go ahead.
I mean, the only thing I have left to talk about is Dolce & Gabbana. I'm not sure how much time we have left, and I don't know how much you guys know about this, but apparently Dolce & Gabbana, 2 openly gay designers, made some kind of a comment about the only acceptable family is the traditional family, born of a mother and a father. So they're saying that in vitro fertilization leads to synthetic children. And I guess a lot of people are really mad. It makes me mad. Ellen DeGeneres and Elton John are doing a boycott Dolce & Gabbana campaign. A lot of people are really mad about it. Any thoughts?
I think if Ellen can get behind it, I'm behind it just because I like Ellen and everything she stands for. So
I totally agree with the celebrity community about boycotting them and being against what they said because I totally disagree with what Dolce & Gabbana said about it too.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that as well. Yeah, I think that's all the time that we, besides that Aqua Pie, that's all the time that we have today. Join us Thursday at 4:30 for Week in Review, and the next Tuesday at 3:45 and 4:30 for our Tuesday shows. But everyone have a good rest of the week. We'll see you Thursday.